Good morning, everybody. I have to do a video, and it's going to be warning. I'll give you, it's a little bit boring if you don't like hearing me talk, but surprisingly, some people say they do love that part of the free-form talking, which is definitely what you get. But anyway, it's going to be Asher with his ball again, but again, some context for everything. I first got to put on the glove to even get the ball from Asher. There's our gorgeous Willow. Hi, gorgeous Willow. Sorry, I can't put on the glove at the same time as hold on. All right, do it with my mouth. Okay, good girl, Willie. So I'm gonna throw it for Ashy. Here, Ash, back up, buddy. Back. So it's okay, you guys. I have so much to tell you. So number one, let's start with the good news. We had an amazing weekend again at the show, and the highlights were, of course, T getting best puppy and show on the one day they had a baby puppy contest. That blew my mind. He beat a beautiful Doberman, a coonhound that was gorgeous, a Dalmatian, and a Lochin. And I forget what else, but those were just the ones I remember being looking so good. And I thought for sure we were never going to get it because he was not being easy. But, okay, ready, Ash? Just a minute, buddy. There goes Willow after something. So what to tell you is it was gorgeous 65-degree weather there. Okay, good boy. Ready, Ash? Go get it. Go get it. But today it's already like 82, and that's not the half of it. So let me get to the good. So then the other thing is, so Asher got select the only 2 days I entered him, which is awesome because there were 4 male specials. So I'll take select any day, especially because Iggy won the breed, on one of the days. So, and that was the day that we had the most esteemed judge. Her name is Pat Trotter, and if you are familiar with dogs at all, you'll know her because she's written a book, and she's just a wonderful person, and she's in her mid to maybe even late 80s by now, but you would never know it to look at her, and she judges wonderfully. Everyone is always happy with her. She takes so much time, examines each exhibit, and good boy, Ash, are you ready? And anyway, long story short, I only entered Asher 2 days because I had thought I would be bringing Daisy, and I thought Sunday's judge would really like Daisy, so I just wanted to focus on her, and I thought I was going to do the veterans contest for Asher, which would have been so freaking amazing because it turns out it was the same judge who gave him best puppy for T. So I would have thought, wow, what if he ever, and this guy seemed like somebody who would very much stay consistent. In fact, we were getting a real kick out of him. Hey, get back, Asher. Back, Asher. I'll say this about him. He was like, in my opinion, such a nice man and a phenomenal dresser, and I think probably a great judge. But he was terrible, like, for the puppies. Like, he did not have any filter between the puppies and the adult dogs. It was like he was just judging an adult dog competition. So that's why you'll see my face grimace on that one video with T. I thought, well, this is going to be really good practice for him to get used to really aggressive stuff. But anyway, I'm totally not consistent, and you'll hear why in a minute with my talking. So anyway, Asher got select both days. Iggy got breed. Asher got a group 2 owner handled on the day that he did get select and best owner handled. Then Iggy, Bill handled him to best of breed, and I took him to both groups. And I don't know, I feel like I kind of messed up in the one group, but other people were saying he still looked amazing, and it might have gone that way anyway. And Pat was the judge that day, so I thought we were definitely going to get something with Iggy because she was clearly liking Iggy a lot, and she was going back and forth between Iggy and Asher. So here's my fun story I want to tell you. Oh, and Asher got, Iggy did get a group 4 owner handled. Back, Asher. Back. And then to end off the weekend, I don't want to leave out BMO, who wasn't getting much of anything. I thought the Sunday's judge would like him, and Janae improved a couple of her handling techniques as well, and he came off with best opposite sex and best owner handled, and also got a group 4. So it was just so fun to have 3 of us there and get such diverse representation. And so, but where I'm going with the story is, I was heartsick to realize I didn't enter veterans. And when I went up so distraught because I thought maybe the judge and ring steward just didn't catch it, Pat Trotter seemed astounded that Asher was a veteran. And she said he was in fabulous condition, which is true. But for as much as she's been around dogs, for her to be that dismayed was just an honor beyond anything back. So we were all happy with the results. Now, here's the negative. Asher and I come cruising home, trying to get home early. I went back to the show. Hey, back, to watch Janae and Devin and BMO and Iggy show. and see Marcy, the puppy. And she also got best opposite sex. Of course, she was the only other Stafford puppy in the baby puppies. Anyway, I'll let him cool for a second while I tell you the rest of this story. So there, Asher and I are cruising through the pass. Beautiful. It's only a 3.5-hour drive, but you get a 40-degree temperature change. And we come sailing up, passing all the trailers and everything in the passing lane on that last climb out of, before you get to the town of Weaverville, which is a substantial climb. And here's the hilarious irony. I said, God, I love my Pilot, which is my Honda Pilot. It's my second one, might be my third, but I love the vehicle so much. And it's older, but it's just perfect, right in the middle. Temperature gauge just sailed right through. And then we were in the town of Weaverville, and all of a sudden everything just got super quiet. And I realized I was going very slow, and I thought, well, because you're supposed to slow down because it's a town, it's like 30. And I thought, well, hell, and I looked and it said 17, and I realized the car was freaking dead. So I coast to, I mean, it's a terrible sob story in my opinion, but it's also could have been 10 times worse because I coasted. Right, Willie? Hiya, Willis. You gorgeous girl. Willis, what mama got? Get those beautiful ears up. Willow has the perfect head and ears. Look at her gorgeous feminine head and ears. She's a good girl. Anyway, yeah, we coasted to the perfect spot. And then what a joy it was to try to get Asher to the restaurant that was nearby, thank God. And I got in there and they said it was 108 degrees outside. Of course, I gave him water from the car, but he could barely walk. And I carried him to the shaded parts, but it was just freaking brutal. So then 2 hours later, my AAA comes when they were supposed to be an hour, but I'm understanding because it's like, okay, I'm in a restaurant and I get that other people have priorities. But then what was so terrible is the guy's like, well, we can't take your dog. And they told me I had to stay with the vehicle. Otherwise, Al could have theoretically come to get me. But here's the other part of that joy. And this is where I do throw Al under the bus sometimes under the videos. And this is like, you'll see why. It's completely deserved. So he tells me, well, I can come get you, but the thing is, maybe I ought to try to sneak into Costco because my tire's losing air. And I'm like, okay, well, forget it, because I have to stay with the vehicle anyway. And then he would have had to stay, and he's older, and I worry about him in that heat. So I just said, I'll go with the tow truck. The guy from AAA said it was fine. He reported there's a woman and one dog. And then when the California local guy calls, same thing. He's like, I've got 2 passengers, and he's probably about a half hour away. And I said, well, he said two people. And I said, no, it's a person and a dog. So anyway, the guy gets there and he says, well, I can't take the dog. And I'm standing at this point in the flat out sunshine with Asher because there was no shade where the car stalled. And I was going to try to get him into the air conditioned tow truck. And he's like, I said, actually, you guys don't even want to know what I said. I'm a little embarrassed because, I mean, in that heat, I just don't do well. And I like flipped out. And I was like, the only reason I flipped out, though, was because he was such a jerk at first. Because when I said, but the guy told me and I've been waiting 2 hours, and he said, well, I'm telling you we don't. And that's when I flipped out. And I was like, I don't even know what I said, and then he tried to come back over because I think he knew he was really out of line with that, actually, because you don't tell somebody that and stand there. Oh, and then he tried to tell me we could put him in the car, unroll the windows and put him in the car. And I said, the air conditioning isn't turning on. Nothing's turning on in the car, even if we get the windows unrolled. Why would I sit him in 110 degrees in the sun? So anyway, bottom line, I think the guy did feel like he overstepped, because then later there was some BS when we were riding in the car that he was trying to tell me, well, normally they charge a $150 cleaning fee, but he was going to let it go. And I'm like, okay, you just told me they don't allow dogs, so whatever. He turned out to be a pretty okay guy. So I don't know. It just was terrible. But then anyway, that's not even near the worst of it. Here's the worst of it. Back, Asher. Back. Drop. I'll do it again. Drop. Good boy. Back. Hey. Hey. Good boy. The worst of it is that then Al tells me, oh, well, I'm pretty sure the air conditioner isn't blowing cold air. Isn't like that kind of the definition of an air conditioner. And he said, but I'm not sure. I wanted you to check. So I'm trying like not to just go crazy. Like I told him, I'm trying to get my fury into deep compassion for why anyone would wait in 114 degree weather for me to come home and check the HVAC, like I'm some kind of HVAC expert. I can't even believe it was real. And so we have a warranty, but he had never put in a call. So he's been sitting in a house, which probably is affecting his brain. And it was 92 degrees when I got home in the house. I mean, and I was used to the 60. I was just sweating, moving. And sadly, because Al can watch a lot of TV if he needs to, like the whole day if he wants to, between the depressing news or sports. And it's like, my life is incredibly busy, so thank God. I feel really bad. For all my students, again, I had to take another personal day at work, which I never do. I will only say to my credit that until this last year, I never took sick days. I took maybe 3-4 personal days a year and 0 sick days. Then this last year, I took all those sick days from my eye, and I'm kind of getting stressed about that retinal stuff again too, just with my upcoming surgeries, which should be benign, easy, quick for the cataracts, but I'm just rethinking, do I want to do them both, just given the upfront costs of the car? And so now I have no vehicle to go to Carmel, but I definitely want to go because the weather's beautiful, and also T's entered 3 days in baby puppy. Oh, and to wrap off my total joy, let you guys wrap up my total joy here, is of course, we come home on day 15 of the heat cycle, and I already knew that was going to be an issue. But when you couple it with like absolute 92-degree heat and everything else, and Al again has no cognizance how dangerous that can also be for the dogs. So I had to get ice wraps on everybody and just start taking over. I called the warranty place right away, and then with Asher, he was just yipping like a lunatic, panting, going crazy. Thank God we had their little ice pool set up. So anyway, there's all my when it rains it pours, which I'm sure everybody can corroborate where that expression comes from, has a lot of validity, because it does happen. And so anyway, again, I know I'm a whiny baby in a lot of ways because things could be worse. We could have stalled in the middle of that pass with no sunshine and truly could have been super dangerous for Ash. So anyway, I'm going to try to make it to Carmel. They'll be on day 19 of the heat cycle. And with my old car, of course, I knew how I could arrange it, but I'm going to have to rent an SUV for at least $500 now for 5 days probably, while the mechanic has his other priorities too, I'm sure. And then I might have to sacrifice the show I was going to in Washington just purely for economic reasons of not being able to want to shell out more on a car rental and all that. I was registered for 2 days up there out of a 3-day show the next week. And then I had a month off anyway, so I would love to get to both of them if I could, since Asher's doing so well right now. But and I'm psyched to show Daisy next weekend too. So anyway, guys, there's my wrap up, but we did otherwise have a good time at the show. As you can see from little baby T, he's a precious angel, and I'm so lucky for all my great families and the people who love these dogs. I just feel like they've really become family as well because they're just kind and great souls. And so again, I got to focus on the positive, feed the positive, right, everybody? All right, so have a good day and stay cool wherever you are.